What's going on YouTube? If you see me looking off to this side like this, I'm looking at my TikTok. I'm doing a little simulcast, right, with YouTube and TikTok. If you're on my TikTok, please check out KO Bets. Yeah. No one can join my live. I'm on YouTube right now. So search KO Bets on YouTube. You'll see me there. What's up, YouTube? My name is Bill. I'm the host of KO Bets. We've got a great evening planned out for you. We got to give an NFT update. We're at 66 channel subscribers on YouTube. Again, if you subscribe to the channel, I'm going to give away a UFC strike moment upon hitting 100 subscribers. So please subscribe. Before I get started, please like the stream. I think we're going to have a guest here in a second. Pretty sure there's a cat outside the door. Let's see. We've also got... So first we got to go over last week, see what the damage was. It wasn't bad, but the... Damn. Like that Cub Swanson Hakeem Dawodu fight. That was poorly judged. So... got the main event wrong. Vincent Luque looked very dominant, looked great. Also got the co-main wrong, even though it somehow a unanimous decision for Cub Swanson. Just absolutely ridiculous. I don't know what Hakeem Dawodu could have done better, to be honest. He fought a really good fight. I think he was like, before the fight was over, he was minus 1,000 favorite. It was just, there's a judging problem for sure in the UFC. I don't know how you fix it. We went big on Khalil Roundtree. We went big on Roundtree via KO. I think that was at like minus 140. And then Khalil was a pretty heavy favorite. We took Yasmin Lucindo, who beat Polyana Viana. I thought that was going to go the distance, but was clearly winning the fight. AJ Dobson beats Tafon. We took AJ as a plus 120 underdog. Josh Fremd won. Kind of thought that one would end inside the distance. Didn't happen. We went big on the Marcus McGee KO. He KOs JP Buys big in round one. Terrence McGee also with the round one KO. Isaac Dalgarian just swarmed Francis Marshall and has very heavy ground and pound. Seems like a very entertaining prospect, someone to keep an eye on moving forward. Martin Boudet with the round one submission over Josh Parisian, who, if he's not cut already, he should be. Jacqueline Amorin, we took her to beat Montserrat. Damon Blackshear, we're going to go over, he's fighting again this week. That's kind of crazy. And then we've got Luana Santos beat Juliana Miller. And Juliana Miller's another fighter who's on this card who just might not be UFC caliber. So on to UFC 292. If you'll notice, YouTube audience, in my chat, I've got a poll question. It's the over-under for the main event. Draftkings has it set at 3.5. It's a 5-round fight. Interested to see what your take is on it. We've got, I think, 13 fights, and I'm doing something a little bit different. One second. Alright, so just how I took notes is a little bit different. Let's see. The first fight of the night we've got is Karine Silva taking on Marina Moroz. And looking at these two fighters, Marina Moroz, she's heading in here on a one-fight losing streak. She's 6-4 in the UFC. Karine Silva, She's on a 2-fight winning streak. She's 2-0 in the promotion. Notable wins for Marina Moroz, Mayra Bueno Silva, Agapova. Does have some losses in there, but definitely carries a better resume than Karine Silva heading into this fight. These fighters actually fought each other a long time ago, back in 2014, and Moroz won via round 1 submission armbar. Since then, Karine Silva has shown a lot of improvements. She's very violent. 19 out of her 20 fights have ended inside the distance. She's got big power, dangerous submissions, definitely not great cardio. If I'm looking at this matchup in this fight, I think the longer it goes, you got to favor Moroz. Moroz has never been finished in her own right. I think all of her losses are decision losses, 4 decision losses. And I like her to be the minute winner in this, and then just the visual of her previously winning is a positive point to drive home. I think this one ends inside the distance, this first fight, and I'm going to go with Moroz, who is the underdog, but I'm going to roll with Moroz in this fight. It's basically a pick-em. She's beat Karine once already, granted it was a long time ago, and Karine's the younger fighter. But yeah, I'm going to go with Marina Moroz. Let's check the odds. Moroz is still... Oh, she's at now plus 114. Odds makers... It's a pick'em for this one to go the distance. I would say no, simply because 19 out of 20 of Karine's fights haven't gone the distance. But, yeah, I mean, it's a pick'em, minus 125. I actually don't mind that at all. I'm gonna highlight that as a round robin pick. And then if I had to choose a method of victory, I'd say Marina Moroz submission at plus 500, but definitely not gonna bet that one. Maybe inside the distance I'll bet. The next fight we've got is Andrea Lee taking on Natalia Silva. Andrea Lee, heading into this fight, is on a 2-fight losing streak. She's 5-5 in the UFC. Really nice fighter, just hasn't really put it together. She's taking on Natalia Silva. Ooh, that's spicy. Who's on a 3-fight win streak. She's 3-0 in the UFC. She does have a win over Marina Rodriguez. That was in 2017 prior to the UFC. Andrea Lee doesn't really have any... and Silva did not beat Marina Rodriguez. She fought her, but lost. Andrea Lee also doesn't have any notable wins. Does have some good people on her resume. Andrea Lee, good striker, good grappling, should be competitive in this fight. But ultimately, I like Natalia Silva as just the more dangerous fighter. Doesn't get hit as much on the feet. Definitely has a power advantage in the striking department. And I just like her to go out there and win rounds. Andrea Lee, I guess, could win some minutes and have her moments in this fight. I think it'll be competitive. But ultimately, I like Natalia Silva to win with the power. So I'm rolling with Natalia Silva. Natalia Silva, though, at minus 325. No, thank you. Not touching that. Wouldn't hate it if you sprinkled the Andrea Lee money line, but yeah, personally, I'm not going to touch it. Fight to go the distance, yes, is minus 175. I'd agree with that. And then as far as the method of victory, I'm rolling with the Natalia Silva decision at plus 110. Don't love any of the lines at this point. Maybe the fight goes the distance as yes, I like as a potential round robin piece, or even over 2.5 at minus 210 as a potential round robin piece, but otherwise no bet from me. Andre Petroski taking on Gerald Meerschaert. Andre Petroski's on a 4-fight win streak. He's 4-0 in the UFC. He burned me bad in that Nick Maximov fight. I think that was the first fight of the night, too. I had Nick Maximov, thought, oh, he's going up against a grappler. He should have this no problem. Big mistake. Andre Petroski, very strong wrestling, very strong grappling, and carries a lot of power on the feet. He's taking on Gerald Meerschaert, who's on a 1-fight losing streak, is 10-8 in the UFC, has been around for a long time. Very, very savvy, slick jiu-jitsu artist and dangerous, always in the fight because of his jiu-jitsu ability. 33 out of 35 of his wins have come inside the distance, and 27 of those are submissions. He is 2-4 in decisions, and what we've seen out of him lately is he loses a lot of minutes, right? He loses a lot of minutes. He's chinny. He gets hit a lot. And he's just coming off of this loss. And I think... who did he face last fight? Yeah, Joe Pyfer trains with Andre Petroski. If you're looking at Petroski, all 9 of his wins come inside the distance. He's got powerful striking, solid grappling. Yeah, he just has to stay safe. And honestly, I think the way to do that is just to keep this on the feet and just club Gerald Meerschaert in this fight. Just club him. Don't get sloppy late in the fight. I like some sort of finish here. Just looking at these 2 fighters and their finishing prowess, I would say I think this one's going to be probably priced out in a way where the odds makers agree. I'm going to roll with Andre Petroski to win this fight. I think he gets it done early with a knockout, maybe round 1. So I'm going to roll with Petroski. Petroski is the favorite at minus 230. Odds makers don't like this to go the distance. Minus 280 for inside the distance. I like the Petroski KO. Plus 275. I think that's the smartest way to win. We have seen Meerschaert get submitted, but I just think, game plan wise, it's probably a smart idea to not grapple with a guy like Gerald Meerschaert. But I definitely like something inside the distance. 2.5 is priced at minus 280 for under 2.5. Under 1.5 is plus 105. I don't know if I want to go chasing 1.5, but I think it ends in round 1. Personally, I think Petroski gets this done early. Meerschaert's an interesting fighter, right? Definitely isn't going to be the minute winner, but could pull it off. Now we've got the first... I think we've got 2 Ultimate Fighter fights here for the 2 weight divisions. We've got Brad Katona taking on Cody Gibson. Brad Katona, all these fighters... First of all, the format was stupid for the Ultimate Fighter. I stopped watching it after, I think, the 3rd episode. And you could just tell, every single one of the veterans has faced a dozen fighters, like these up-and-comers, the prospects. And these prospects, their toughest fight to date was these veterans. So, I just think it was... a dumb format. So we've got Brad Katona taking on Cody Gibson. Cody Gibson is going to be the bigger fighter. Brad Katona's... he was a previous winner of the Ultimate Fighter, so he's trying to become the first 2-time tough champion. Fought way tougher competition, and Carlos Vera and Timur Valiev. I like him, just his technical approach to fighting, better than Cody Gibson. I think he's got more output on the feet. I think he's a capable grappler. And I think how Cody Gibson is going to win this is to make it a brawl. Cody Gibson is a really good jiu-jitsu artist, but I like Brad Katona to be the minute winner here. I kind of think this one's going to go to a decision too. So give me the guy who I think is going to win minutes, and that's Brad Katona. Brad Katona is the favorite at minus 170. Odds makers do like it to go the distance as well at minus 200. Brad Katona, decision, minus 110. Cody Gibson, decision, plus 400. Yeah, I mean, maybe the over I would take as a potential round robin piece, but I do like Brad Katona here in this fight. The next fight we've got is Austin Hubbard taking on Kurt Holobaugh. Austin Hubbard, he's 15-6 professionally, making his return. Notable win is over Julian Lane recently. Does have some not so good losses compared to Kurt Holobaugh. As far as his approach, he's got a wrestle heavy approach, throws decent volume out there. I think he's got to grapple to win fights. Personally, I think he's got to get a takedown in a round to steal it. Looking at his opponent, Kurt Holobaugh, he's a Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt. Is very tough but hittable. Was 0-3 in his first stint in the UFC, but fought way better competition than Austin Hubbard did. 16 out of 19 of his wins come inside the distance. Yeah, I'm kind of feeling the underdog pick in this fight. I think this one's closer than the first fight. I think in the first fight we're going to see that Brad Katona is just winning minutes fairly easily, and I think this one could be a little bit closer. If it stays standing, I guess I like Austin Hubbard to win this fight. I guess I like Austin Hubbard. I think he needs to grapple, though, to win. And I think if you do that with Kurt, I think it's going to be trouble. So I'm going to just roll with the underdog here. Probably not placing any sort of bet, though. But I'm going to go with the underdog, Kurt Holobaugh, at plus 154. Odds makers like this one to go the distance at minus 125. I think this one could finish inside with a submission. But from Kurt Holobaugh, but maybe that's a bet I'm just like sprinkling. Definitely not a round robin piece or a parlay piece or anything like that. The submission for Kurt is plus 600. I don't feel super confident on the read. I probably am going to sit that one out. The next fight we've got is Gregory Rodriguez taking on Dennis Tuluin. Both fighters are on one-fight losing streaks. Looking at these two fighters, Dennis, stand-up fighter, good boxer, heavy hands, heavy power, 9 out of 10 wins via KO. It says he lands 5.35 strikes per minute. I think his output's a little bit low, to be honest, whenever I watch him. If he's able to get off combinations, yeah, we could see that volume, but I just don't see it. I'm going to roll with Gregory Rodriguez in this fight, who's also a powerful striker. But I think where he makes it up is, first of all, he's very tough, but I think it's the wrestling and jiu-jitsu. Letting the cat out. Wrestling and jiu-jitsu, that wins this fight. And I just don't really trust him to use the wrestling, but I think that's the clear path to victory for Gregory Rodriguez. I think he grapples. I think he gets a submission win. Dennis Tuluin doesn't. He's got 4 submission losses. I don't think he goes the distance very frequently. But I think if Gregory can get some grappling going, that would serve him really well. So I really like Gregory Rodriguez in this fight. I think it'd be stupid for him to trade on the feet with Dennis when he's got such an advantage on the ground. Odds makers don't like this to go the distance, minus 650. The Rodriguez KO they have priced at plus 110, the submission at plus 200, Dennis KO plus 400. Might use Rodriguez as a round robin or parlay piece at minus 355, but other than that, just kind of feels too pricey to place bets on Rodriguez inside the distance. The next fight we've got is Chris Weidman taking on Brad Tavares. Chris Weidman making his return. He's on a 1-fight losing streak. Was on a 2-year layoff. Taking on Brad Tavares, who's on a 2-fight losing streak. And yeah, I think Weidman is long in the tooth. Inactive. Says he feels really good. But if he's not able to get the wrestling going, I think he's going to get hurt in this fight, and he should probably hang him up. This isn't the elite version of Weidman we saw, what is that, like 10 years ago at this point? He's not the same in there. Isn't his dad always like, and that's my boy? Let's look that up. It's just a little cringy. His face is beat up pretty bad. But, I mean, he's just trying to pick up his son. But I think Chris Weidman, man, I'll be pulling for him, but I'm going to be betting on Brad Tavares, I think. So I probably won't be pulling for Weidman. I think Brad Tavares gets this done. I think he gets it done inside the distance, probably a knockout. Odds makers agree this doesn't go the distance at minus 150. As far as the method of victory, they like the Brad Tavares KO at plus 130. I think this is I think it's just he's 39 years old. I think it's just a tall task to come back and win a fight in the UFC for Chris Weidman. So that concludes the prelims. We're on to the main card, which is just, this card is absolutely stacked. I'm going to be doing some stuff for a family member's birthday tomorrow. I'm hoping to get back in time to catch maybe this Chris Weidman fight and most of the main card. I definitely want to see this Marlon Vera versus Pedro Munoz fight, which is just going to be a fun fight. Looking at these two, Marlon Vera's on a 1-fight losing streak. He lost to Sanhagen, I believe. And then Pedro Munoz is on a 1-fight win streak. I mean, Munoz hasn't... I'd be lying if I said he's looked impressive lately. He definitely hasn't, but he's tough. He's got a lot of output. He hits hard. Is very well rounded, but I think he's very hittable. I think this fight's going to come down to like Marlon Vera's output, to be honest. Marlon Vera's always dropping round one, and it's so frustrating as a bettor, right? To see Marlon Vera, the guy you're fighting on, just like drop round one always. It's very frustrating. And then, like you saw versus Sandhagen, he can just get trigger shy if you throw enough volume at him, hit him with kicks, move around, stay elusive. But he's super dangerous, and I'm a big fan of Marlon Vera. Pedro Munoz has never been knocked out, so he's very durable. It'll be interesting. I think he gets beat up and bleeds a lot in this fight. I think ultimately it's going to go to the scorecards, and I think it's going to be a close decision either way. So I don't fault you for taking Pedro Munoz. I think Marlon Vera tends to beat up his opponents more than he gets beat up. And he's also very durable. I don't really see him getting knocked out. So I'm going to roll with Marlon Vera to win the split decision, taking 2 out of 3 rounds, but maybe one judge gives Pedro Munoz 2 out of 3 rounds. So I'm going to roll with Marlon Vera in this to win on damage. And then I do like it to go the distance, so odds makers agree it's minus 300. I might sprinkle the Marlon Vera KO at plus 450, just because he is so unorthodox with the strikes and they're so damaging. Like, if he catches anyone clean, including Munoz, he could put him down. So I'm gonna roll with Marlon Vera to win this fight. Probably just gonna roll with money line though at what is that, minus 185. The next fight we've got is Damon Blackshear taking on Mario Bautista. Damon Blackshear's on a 2-fight win streak. Mario Bautista is on a 4-fight win streak. Looking at these two fighters, Bautista, very dangerous everywhere, has been really grappling well against his most recent opponents. I don't think he's going to want to do that against Damon Blackshear, who's coming off of a win last week, just filling in this week for Cody Garbrandt. And that's his game, is grappling. Jiu-jitsu, grappling. I think Mario Bautista, he'll be best served to keep the standing. I think he's going to be the more efficient fighter on the feet, and I think this is arguably a tougher fight than Cody Garbrandt was going to present for Mario Bautista. So I'm going to roll with Bautista to win a decision. I think it could be a really close fight, though. I think Damon Blackshear is very tough. I don't know if Damon Blackshear's ever been finished before. I don't think he has in the UFC. And he's very slick as far as the grappling. He might even be the better grappler in this fight. So I just don't think, even if he's able to get to the wrestling, I think he's going to have trouble taking down Bautista efficiently. So I'm going to roll with Mario Bautista here. Don't love the line, though, the money line. Oh, it's been bet down to minus 205, which is actually pretty good. I got to add that here to my spreadsheet. Plus 170 for Blackshear. But I'm rolling with Mario Bautista in this fight. I think Bautista gets this done and wins a decision, a close decision. So rolling with Bautista. Odds makers like this. Oh no, they don't like this to go the distance. It's minus 50, plus 110 for that it does. I think it does go the distance. I like the Bautista decision at plus 165. They like the submission for either fighter. Blackshear or Batista, but I'm going to roll with this one reaching a decision. I think it does. The next fight, we've got Neil Magny taking on Ian Machado Gary. Shout out to Ian Gary. He follows me on TikTok. Appreciate it. Yeah, we've got a 5-0 fighter in the UFC taking on a veteran, a staple to the division at 21-9 in the UFC. That's crazy. 30 UFC fights for Neil Magny. And he's on a one-fight win streak. Has fought a lot of different people. He's on short notice, fighting on 1 week notice for Jeff Neal. Only has 2 professional KO losses, and neither one of those has come in the promotion. Very good Muay Thai, good experience, isn't knocking people out. Looking at Machado Gary, 7 out of 12 of his wins have come inside the distance. He's fast. He's a good striker, good boxer. He's definitely hittable, but again, I don't think Magny's knocking anyone out, so I don't really fear him losing anywhere in this fight, to be honest. I do think it's going to be a technical striking fight. I could see Gary putting out Neil Magny, but honestly, I think it's going to be a unanimous decision for Machado. I'm going to roll with Gary moneyline. Moneyline is obviously priced in a way that's tough to bet. It's not very palpable at minus 485. Odds makers don't like this to go the distance. At minus 165, 120 for a 2 go the distance. I like the decision at plus 200 for Gary. But I'd also hate to bet Gary and see that KO. The KO or decision's minus 400. Yeah, it's just tough to bet on that one. I'll probably parlay them. But yeah, I kind of like the decision in that fight. Or maybe I would do like a same game parlay, like Ian Gary. And over 1.5 plus 105 just to get out of the first round, essentially at 4.5 minutes, is minus 150. Maybe I'd do something like that just to get a little bit better line on him. But I really like Ian Gary in that fight. I think he's better everywhere. Zhang Weili taking on Amanda Lemos. Amanda Lemos, 2-fight win streak. Zhang Weili, 2-fight win streak. Minus Rose Namajunas, Zhang Weili's passed every test thus far in the UFC. Tremendous power, 11 KO victories, 8 submission victories. So 19 out of 23 wins inside the distance. Both of these fighters are super dangerous, though. Amanda Lemos, incredible striker, very dangerous early. This is her first 5-round fight. I think I like the championship experience and pedigree of Zhang Weili in this fight. Could she get hurt in round 1 by Lemos? Sure. I think there's going to be a finish in this, and I think it's going to be on the Zhang Weili side, 3rd or 4th round, something late. Lemos hasn't made it. I don't think she's ever been in a 4 or 5 round fight in her career, or never made the 4th or 5th round. I think she gets really tested in this one after the first 8 minutes of the fight. I think Zhang Weili, her wrestling takes over, and I think she ultimately gets a submission victory, similar to like what Andrade did against Lemos, I think, who got a round 1 submission. But I think if you meet Lemos and you don't back down and you force output from her in round 1 and you're able to survive that fire, I think she's a one-round horse. So I'm going to roll with Zhang Wei Li in this fight, the champion, and still. And she is the favorite at minus 310. Over-under set to 3.5 rounds, so that means they do not like it to go the distance at minus 360. I agree. And Zhang Wei Li's submission is plus 400. The KO's at plus 110. She does punch very hard, but I think you just swarm Lemos and choke her out. As soon as she gets tired, just wrestle her down, choke her out. Win. Round 3. Let's just throw that out there as a potential round 3 submission plus 2,500. Let's sprinkle it. Alright, the next fight we've got is Aljamain Sterling taking on Sean O'Malley. The Sugar Show, the Book of Sugar taking on the Funk Master. Aljamain Sterling's on a 9-fight win streak. Sean O'Malley's on a 4-fight win streak. Looking at their notable wins, they both have wins over Piotr Jan. Yeah, I mean, it's on paper, it's tough to roll with Sean O'Malley, right? Like, he's facing arguably the best bantamweight of all time, who's just been an absolute force to deal with on the mat from a grappling perspective. Here's what I'll say. If Sean's able to survive with Aljamain on his back round 1, round 2, he might get taken down, might get his back taken again. If he's able to survive round 2, I am hammering the Sean O'Malley line. Aljamain Sterling is not efficient at all with his takedowns. If you cut out the most recent Dillashaw fight, right, where he had one arm, right, his shoulder was dislocated the entire fight, he's got an 11% takedown accuracy. It's probably reflects, 24% is what it reflects on UFC.com. He's not very efficient with the takedowns. He's unorthodox on the feet. I think he gets a bit excited, like in that first Piotr Jan fight, and I think he's prone to gassing out. And that's what I'll say about him stylistically as a fighter. I don't think he should mess with Sean on the feet. I think if he does mess with Sean on the feet, I think he's getting KO'd. He says he's moving up to 145 after this, win or lose. And even in the second Jan fight, I thought Jan was taking over the longer that fight went. And then Sean, what he does is he possesses really, really slick striking. I really like watching Sean fight. And I think it just comes down to if he's able to stuff these takedowns or not. And I've been impressed, to be honest, with Sean's grappling and athleticism as a fighter thus far, for being so skinny. He's pretty elusive and hard to get a hold of. So I'm gonna roll with the dog here. I'm gonna roll with Sean O'Malley to get this done. Before I give my official prediction, I just want to close out the poll on YouTube here. No bet. Over under was at 3.5 for the main event here. I think it's something inside the distance. I think Sean gets it done in round 3 or 4 via knockout. I'm rolling with the Booga Sugar at plus 215. I'm rolling with Sean O'Malley. And I just think if Aljo doesn't get that early submission, I just think it's going to be a long night for him and he's getting knocked out. Fight to go the distance, odds makers agree at no, minus 225. Yeah, and I like the Sean O'Malley KO late. So that's what I'm rolling with. I'm hesitant to bet like on a late KO from Sean, just in case. Well, first of all, it might not. Sean might not even win, right? He might just get submitted round one, rear naked choked. But I'm hesitant to bet the over in the knockout, just because, like, what if. I mean, we saw. I think Sean staggered Jan in round two. So, I don't know. It's just. It's a crazy fight, but we're rolling with the underdog. Screw the Funk Master. Just looking at some baseball lines here. I took the Atlanta Braves, the Minnesota Twins, and the Baltimore Orioles today. Might just log in real quick and get one more. Might get one more bet in for tonight on MLB. Just make sure this goes through. And then we'll do trending topics. TikTok, I appreciate you tuning in. If you are just tuning in, I got a show on YouTube. It's called KO Bets. You can find a link in my profile. I go live every Friday prior to UFC events. I break down the card, give my picks and predictions. I'm doing this simulcast on TikTok here. Appreciate you tuning in. But I'm going to sign off. It's time to go. How do I do that? Alright, YouTube. Now it's a little more intimate. It's just the two of us. Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us. You and I. Just the two of us. Building castles in the sky. Just the two of us. You and I. I watch the crystal raindrops fall and the beauty of it all. It's when the sun comes shining through to meet those rainbows in my mind when I think of you sometimes. Should we do the Mets and the Orioles? I don't trust the Mets. I do not trust them one bit. Let's do the Dodgers. We'll do 20. Okay. Check out trending topics on Twitter.
Is America First policy walking away from the rest of the world has made us weaker, not stronger? Is America First policy walking away from the rest of the world has made us weaker, not stronger? Is America First policy walking away?
So, before we get into trending topics, I think there's an interesting discussion. There have been various points in United States history where we've gone from focus overseas to domestically, to overseas to domestically. And so we've always experienced that contraction as a society where we need to focus on rebuilding our and putting America first. So I don't know. I kind of think we're at that point. If you just look at the national debt, how inflation is still running rampant, and I would blame it in large part due to government spending. It's not. Dude, I wonder. I'm sure I wonder if the population of the United States spends even close to what our government spends. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, our government, as taxpayers, we're literally funding much of the world, which is fine when we're in a position to do so, right? But I don't think an America First policy is bad. Alex Jones is trending. Alex Jones says TSA whistleblower told him TSA employees were instructed on Tuesday that masks were coming back in October for travelers and full COVID restrictions and lockdowns by December due to a new dangerous variant out of Canada. So the FDA just allowed ivermectin, by the way, as a treatment for COVID. I know Alex Jones says a lot of crazy shit. But dude, there can't be lockdowns. There can't be any more. Addison Rae, she's serving CVNT. What does that mean? Sounds like Just Dance by Lady Gaga. Was it? Oh, it's featuring. Huh? Oops. Guess it's a little different, but interesting. What did Carly Rae sing? Was she the "Hey, I just met you, this is crazy, call me baby"? Yeah, Carly Rae. Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy, so here's my number, call me Maggie. Why is Elon trending with the Dirty Birds? So I think next week Tucker might get an interview with Trump, which would be pretty crazy. What's Flocky 888? Jesus. Crypto, they're like, you're looking for news and it's like flashing up some dude who abducted people. What the fuck? Grayson Waller. Oh, I think the PFL's on tonight. Bryce Young. Bryce Young seems to be, people like him. How are you gonna say, what the fuck did I just watch? He's getting pushed. Like, that's great pocket awareness. Flushes out. Little overthrown, but not bad. See what's in the news. Ain't nothing on the news but the blues. The SEC. I don't know. I'm still in AMC. Excited to be. Why is Jack Dorsey trending? Fuck that dude. Okay, let's see what's going on in entertainment. Rest in peace, Kid Rock. I think we're gonna do Knock at the Cabin. Oh, WizKid died. Damn. Well, it's the weekend. I start a new job next week. I'm really excited for that. So I've been off all week, packing up, going through a move this weekend, and yeah, just really excited to start the new gig. If you need plastic bags, hit me up. I'm gonna be the GM of a plant, which is pretty cool, and we're gonna extrude plastic film. I have 8 years of experience in that industry. I switched over to human resources, and now I'm switching back. So I'm very excited to do that. So I appreciate everyone tuning in. Please like the stream, subscribe to the channel, get notified when I go live. Have a great weekend. Peace.
Sorry, one more thing. Cool.